Hi, I'm Holly Draper, and my master's programme was social and cultural psychology, and Sandra was my supervisor. My project is The Other Side of the EU Referendum, exploring perspectives of Leavers and Remainers. So, I just want to gloss over the theory. It's quite heavy. I thought I had 15 mins, not 7, so... I based the backbone of my research is social representation theory, and I also explored alternative representations and themata. So basically, systems of values, practices, and beliefs that facilitate understanding and communication. And communication was the big thing for me in my project. It was how people in groups developed an idea of the other through communication. So I think I'll stick with that. I boiled down alternative representations into meta-perspectives and meta-meta-perspectives. So basically, what I think they think, and what I think they think I think. So, semantic barriers and bridges were explored, and that's basically from alternative representations. Gillespie also explored how certain communicative tropes helped understanding between groups or blocked it. My research questions were, what were the meta-perspectives and meta-perspectives held by Leavers and Remainers of each other? How these developed and maintained dialogically within groups? And which communicative strategies best improve perspective taking between them? So this is the fun part. I did research in London and Rugby. Rugby is my hometown. London is a majority Remain region, and Rugby is a majority Leave region. So there's a little bit of information there about the two places. Obviously, Rugby is a lot smaller. It's an engineering centre, and we all know about London. So there were 3 focus groups in each category, and we were in the pub a lot of the time discussing what we thought of the other side, which was fab, so really fun doing that research. I used dialogical analysis, and I'm not going to go into that either. But this book is fabulous, which is why it's on there, so I really recommend reading that if anyone's interested. I've got some data here just to give you an idea. I'm not going to go into both sides. I'm just going to read this one out to you. It might be a little bit small. This is from the Rugby Leavers, and it's a conversation between Ronald and Ryan, because dialogical analysis is all about the conversation and the interaction. So, Ronald, he is 74 years old. He left education after university and is a retired engineer. He grew up where there was no immigration for a long time. The first time he saw a black person was when he was in his 20s. Ryan is 23 years old. He left school after going to college and is now a builder. He had a lot of friends who voted Remain, though. It's really important to get this kind of background information when you're doing dialogical analysis. It's all about positioning and understanding where people are coming from. So Ronald, I can't imagine why. I think one of the problems is it's an age thing. So old farts like us, and Terry's laughing, who remembers what it was like before? And we're saying, how can you possibly want to be here? And the youngsters, they're probably just going along with the ride, I don't know, I can't imagine what they want to. And then Ryan, at the minute, I think they're thinking that it's a sense of stability, and it's like, right now, if we come out of it, there'll be a massive change. And Ronald's like, does anybody know what the age groups are? And Ryan's like, at the minute, I think they think, fair enough, things aren't brilliant, but I think the sense of stability. And so you can just see the tension between these two positions. Ronald is older, and he's condemning the young people. And although Ryan, he did vote to leave, he understands where some Remainers are coming from. So there's this kind of interaction that's happening here, and you can go through you can have a look at the other side in your own time as well, and there's just different positions going on there on both sides. So my findings, themata, which is basically what all social representations stem from, the really fundamental basis They exist in antinomies, basic antinomies like cold, dark, in and out. The first one that came through was ignorance and knowledge. So each side thought the other was ignorant. Meta-perspective, remainers know less, and leavers are misguided. And then the meta-perspectives, remainers think leavers are incapable of making informed decisions, and leavers think remainers are privileged and don't understand. So this side is what the leavers believe, and this side is what the remainers believe. In amongst all of this, there were some semantic barriers that created the divide and stabilized the divide, kind of what do I want to say? Anyway, they made the divide stronger. And semantic bridges, they acted as kind of bridges between, like, creating a little bit more cohesion between the two groups. And one example is elderly people thought they were doing the right thing, and they're kind of allocating affordances to the other side. The other themata that came through was weakness and strength. So remainers want to be looked after, and leavers were taken advantage of. This one was really interesting because the meta-meta perspectives weren't there as much. They didn't realise that they were projecting this idea of weakness onto the other side. It was very implicit and covert, so they didn't anticipate that the other side thought themselves as weak. So that was one of the conclusions. To improve perspective taking between the leavers and remainers, this idea of weakness is something that needs to be bridged. To fully know what somebody else is thinking of you, you need to be aware of how you think of them, and that's based on Mead's understanding of the self through the other. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, we can talk about them after.